Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Power of Women Using Their Voices. I'm Marissa Polselli, and I am so thrilled to have as my guest today the wonderful Dorota Burlakowska. And Dorota, it is such an honor to be speaking with you today. You are an inspirational designer, speaker, and singer who transforms people by the beauty that you create, and the experiences of beauty that you create for people. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Oh, hi, Marissa. Thank you so much for having me. I am so happy to be with you today, and for that introduction. I am a inspirational designer. I think more of like a transformational visionary. I love transforming spaces, experiences through many different forms. And it has allowed me to have a voice and to share with people love, because I always base everything on love. My phrases lead with love. And that is pretty much what I do, and love it every single day.
That's fantastic. And you also are involved with, I believe you're the co-founder of a nonprofit that spreads love in a very beautiful way. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, it's Spaces of Love. I'm the co-founder with Lori Tierney, who is a wonderful, dear friend of mine. And we transform spaces for children and the elderly. And we hope to do so much of it in 2020 to create spaces for children that makes them feel happy and fulfilled, and healing kind of spaces, as well as for elderly, actually, in nursing homes. We're going to look into that as well. So I'm so excited about the next year coming up.
That's so beautiful. And you're approaching both ends of the spectrum of life with something that can bring a sense of beauty and awe and wonder, and really connects us in our common humanity, because it's something that we all need to grow and that we need to keep even as we age. So congratulations on that beautiful work.
Thank you. I feel those two groups are the ones that do not have voices sometimes, you know, children and the elderly. So we want to give them a voice and the type of environment that they will thrive in and love and feel nurtured and feel just good in. Yeah.
Very true. And you've circled back nicely to our topic for today, which is voice. And can you tell me and tell our audience, Dorota, what does it mean to you to be a woman who is using her voice?
Wow. I love that question, Marissa. And I love the fact that you have this beautiful show allowing women to express how important it is to have a voice, because I think it's everything. But I also feel that having a voice can come in different forms. I don't always feel it has to be speaking. It could also be in a form of art. It can be in a form of helping the world. I feel that women have a fear of being in the spotlight, you know, that fear of judgment. If they say it, they say certain things, if they express certain emotions or what they are, their talents are. I think a lot of us are afraid of that judgment on the other side. You know, what are people going to think if we open up 100% and we put our heart on our sleeves, right? And make our voice heard. But I feel it is so important. And all I can say is that I have done that in my life. And when you overcome that fear, when you actually face it right in front of you, on the other side are endless possibilities. And you just feel this sort of freedom to be yourself, and to, you know, that feeling of having others hear you and impacting even one life. I feel like that is the treasure. You know, when I sing or if I create anything, I always feel if I just impact one heart or heal one heart, my job is done, you know? So I think it's so important.
That's wonderful. You brought up so many beautiful points in the explanation that you just gave. I think it's really important to underscore that voice is any method of self-expression that is authentic to that individual. For me, that often comes through speaking and writing. For you, that comes through singing, through design of events, through design of spaces, for design of, I believe, websites even.
Yes.
through so many creative outlets that you are gifted to transform for people. For other people, it might come through acting, through sewing, through the possibilities are limitless. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a really important point to underscore. My way of expressing my voice isn't the only way, or there's no right way. The right way is the way that you're meant to do it, that you were made to do. Yeah.
Even if it's something little, as simple as you bake amazing cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone in your neighborhood loves your cookies.
Hey.
Don't be afraid to share that with the world.
I am a big believer in the sharing of cookies. I don't think they're silly at all.
Somehow cookies came into my mind. I think I need to have a cookie today. But I think any way that makes you feel authentic, when you share your gift, it's so important. I have this philosophy of we have one life. And at the end of it, I don't want to look back and say, I didn't do this or that because I was afraid that someone was going to judge me. Right. I want to say I tried it all. I did it all. I shared the gifts that God gave me so graciously with the world. And as long as I made people feel the emotion of love and happiness and joy, then I have fulfilled my mission in life. There's a quote that I love. It's my favorite quote by Maya Angelou, and I live by this quote. It says, people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
So true.
Right? So if you just do anything that will make someone feel amazing, it does not matter what is on the other side as far as judgment, because the right people, the right crowd will love what you do. They will support you and root for you and be there for you. And the ones that don't, maybe you don't want them anyway.
They might not be your crowd. Not everybody's for everybody.
Not your tribe. So share those gifts. Share those gifts.
I love that quote. I often thought of that during my years as a teacher, because I knew that my students very often would not remember. They didn't even remember it for the test, let alone 10 years later, know. But I have had people come up to me years later and talk about how they felt in my classroom. And that's the gift. That's the reward, is knowing that you were able to touch someone at, it was high school age. So it could have been a very vulnerable time in a person's life and make them feel that they were welcomed and respected and honored and appreciated just as they are. So I agree with you. There was one other point that you brought up that I wanted to kind of dive into a little more deeply. Sure. You talked about the journey of, or you alluded to there being a journey of going from fear of judgment to breaking into this self-expression. And I wonder if you could speak to that a little bit, either just the way you feel about that in general, or if you wanted to share some portion of your own story in that regard.
Sure. I think it was a transformation that I had to go through. And it took a few years. It really, I believe it's baby steps. The first one is honoring yourself and loving yourself and healing the traumas that we all have from the past. And then searching for that magic that is within you and saying, I am not afraid. I am going to share it with the world. And I think the biggest impact that, my biggest step that I made was when I spoke on stage for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because, and I stepped on that stage, and being a singer, I love to sing, but stage was something I feared, even though I used to play the violin in Poland, and I was on stage when I was little. But I stood on that stage and it felt like home. And when I realized, okay, I overcame this fear. I'm standing here, I'm speaking to an audience, they're all looking at me, they're all listening to me. And it was such an achievement when you confront something that has been such a scary place for you. And I feel when you do that, after that, you gain these wings. I felt like I gained these wings and I could just fly. And I said, okay, if I'm not afraid to stand on stage and speak my truth and speak from my heart, I can do anything. And that led to expanding my business in so many different forms, and to transforming businesses and branding for people. I always see things through different lens, I say. I always see the potential in others where I can take them to that another level where they see
Mhm.
themselves in a way that makes them shine. So I feel like it's a process, but it's so worth it. It
Yeah.
takes some time. And if you just make baby steps, it doesn't have to be all at once.
Mhm.
But I really feel in that entire transformation that took a few years, I really feel like the most important thing was the fear of going online, for example, like this video, and just
Mhm.
speaking, not worrying what other people will say. I think if we really overcame that, so many more women would speak freely and express how they feel. So that to me is the face the fear. It's scary, but the
Mhm.
possibilities on the other side are endless, and it's so worth it. It's
I
just you're
agree.
living your life fully. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that, there's even a level deeper that we can take it in facing the fear. I believe that in viewing it not as a roadblock, but as a point of connection,
I
that we
love it.
make ourselves even more approachable and relatable because everyone is vulnerable. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
has that fear. So, do I get nervous before I step on in front of a camera sometimes? Sure. But suppose there's a little mess up. Suppose I stumble or mispronounce something or say 85 times in a sentence, just like I just did. Other people do that too. And that is a way of, if I approach it not with embarrassment, but with, okay, let's try to do better and moving on, but this is actually me as a real person, it enables a greater connection with people. And that's really at the heart of what we're trying to do here. Recognize that we're all connected. We're all in this together in this world, and love is what connects us. So I thank you
Yes.
for bringing all of these things out. And
Yes.
it leads very, very nicely to our last question. I'm wondering, Dorota, for someone out there who is struggling, for a woman who is struggling to own her voice, to face those fears and step forward in whatever way that means for her, whether it's drawing or speaking or dancing or making cookies. And I'm definitely
Mm-hmm.
going to have a cookie after this broadcast.
Me too.
What message or what advice do you have for someone in that situation? What's the takeaway that you have for them to kind of move forward?
I remember one of the things that not that I programmed myself into seeing, but if you just realize that on the other side of that screen, that stage, wherever you are, is someone that is dying to hear what you have to say.
Hmm.
There is someone who, and I don't want to cry saying this, gosh, but it makes me want
You
to cry.
can.
There's someone that can relate to you, that what you are going to say is going to either help them, heal them, inspire them, allow them to make that change they've been dying to make. There's someone that wants to hear you, and you voicing what you feel inside will make that change in someone's life. I think if we all just think about that for a second, that could be that little shift, because I think this is a place where you just need that shift. That something has to the little light has to go on inside of you, and where you say, no, I can't be quiet anymore. I have to share this gift I have. I know how to draw the perfect square. I want to show the world how to draw the perfect square. Like, even as anything will inspire someone on the other side. And everything that I do, I always think of that. I always say, okay, if I sing a song, I'm not singing yet my lyrics. I sing other people's lyrics, but next year will be my lyrics I'm writing. If just me singing the song will inspire someone to touch their heart or make them cry so they can release something that's inside of them, that's the mission. I feel wonderful that one heart was touched. So if people would just, maybe women would think of it that way, that their message will inspire that one person out there, one or a million, you never know. But one is worth it, just one.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. I love this idea of a shift from the fear to thinking that on the other side of whatever it is that I want to do is a person who can be inspired and helped.
That's what I always think. And as long as it's based on love and kindness, it will make some kind of a shift or a change in someone's life.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Mhm.
Dorota,
You're
where can
welcome.
people find you? Tell us, what you have going on and your contact information. And when this program is done, I'll be sure to put that in a comment underneath the show so it can be in writing. But where can we find you?
Wonderful. I have two websites. One is DorotaBurlakowska.com, and you can learn so much about me on that site. And then my business site, which is the design aspect of everything that I do, is dbevents&design.com. And that is where all the transformations that I have worked on over the years are. And you can learn so much more about me there too.
That's beautiful. And the nonprofit that you do, can you find that?
Yep. Yes, they're on those websites as well, but it's also another website, spacesoflove.com. Yes, if they want to learn about that. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
We'll be doing so much work in 2020. I'm very excited. We have some projects lined up.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Dorota, do you have a show as well? I believe
yes,
you have a show.
do.
Yeah.
I do. You
tell us about it.
When I talk about different forms and outlets to express yourself, yes, I do. I have the Dorothy Show. The next episode is actually coming out tomorrow.
Oh,
and
nice.
It is about showing women and giving them a spotlight, women who are extraordinary and do amazing things. And at the end of every episode, there's a transformation that takes place. So there's so many things I'm working on to inspire the world. And that is one that I truly, truly love.
Oh, wow. So it's like a super incredible, heartfelt makeover on many different levels.
It is. Yes, each guest is different. And the transformation at the end is always beautiful. Sometimes it is a surprise, but it is really to show the world women who are doing extraordinary things, and I want to put them in the spotlight so they can inspire other women to do the same.
Fantastic. And is that a podcast? Where can people find it to watch it?
It's actually on Binge Networks.
Okay.
It is also on my website, Dorota Burlakowska. So everything is pretty much on that website. My DorotaBurlakowska.com is the DB Events and Design, the Dorothy Show, Spaces of Love, all of that you can find on there.
Fantastic. We will be sure to include those links in our comments. Dorota, thank you so much for sharing your heart and yourself with us in this interview. You are a gift, and it was an absolute pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you so much, Marissa. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of The Power of Women Using Their Voices. Stay tuned for our next episode. Enjoy this beautiful day. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.